Well, Jerry and I are very, very good friends, and we have been friends since 1972. He served in he was a seminarian, then he served in the Peace Corps. I met him right after he came back from the Peace Corps. He and I have worked together and been friends for 38 years. When I learned on Sunday that a report had been disclosed to a reporter, I called Jerry up to tell him that. The rules are that these reports are supposed to be confidential by law, but someone violated that law and gave the report to a reporter, and we received questions about it. I had to ask our legal counsel what we were allowed to say. We contacted the proper people to get their legal view on what to say, but I also told Jerry the circumstances, and he decided that he did not want in any way whatever mistakes he made. He was out of bounds on 3 emails out of 38,000 some odd emails, but he did not want that particular matter that he self-reported. He reported that immediately to the ethics officer of the governor's office, former U.S. attorney. The ethics officer suggested presenting it all to the Office of Inspector General. Jerry did that voluntarily, self-reported. That office took, 7 months to make a report, but he did not want his situation in any way to distract from our mission, which is to get Illinois back to work and make sure we run an honest government. And so that's why he told me he would rather voluntarily resign. And I feel very badly for Jerry, because he is a exemplary public servant. He made a couple of mistakes, and may I just finish? He had a couple of mistakes. He was willing to take whatever discipline would be administered. But when the matter came up, as it did, he did not want the public publicity about it to take away from what we're trying to do in state government.
Mr. Stermer, obviously,
Well, that's completely false. It's completely false because it is false. It has not a shred of truth. I received the report of the Inspector General the afternoon of Friday, August 13th. We had decided, we had begun interviewing on June 28th of 2010, this year, a replacement for the Inspector General. Indeed, beginning as early as last year in March, we had begun to look for a new Inspector General. We've interviewed quite a few candidates. A number of them were very close to accepting. For one personal reason or another, they didn't accept. On the 28th of June of this year, we received the resume of a candidate, former U.S. attorney, very well qualified person. He went through the entire vetting process. As a matter of fact, on the 23rd of July, we emailed our Director of Executive Appointments stating that Ricardo Mesa would be appointed as the new Inspector General. Because of Mr. Mesa had to notify his employers, we delayed that, and as a courtesy, the acting counsel to our office, the general counsel, went to see the incumbent Inspector General, Mr. James Wright, the morning of August 13th, and told him that he would be replaced. He did not have, he was holding over, he didn't have a lifetime tenure. His term had expired. He was holding over on that term, and we were going to appoint someone new. I believe on September 7th would be the official date of start. That's what he was told that morning. That was after he had completed his report and sent it. I hadn't received it. I didn't get it until I got back from the state fair that afternoon. But we had much earlier on made a decision to replace Mr. Wright. And I don't think he labored under any assumption that I was going to reappoint him. I, for more than a year, was looking for a replacement who would meet the standards that the people of Illinois want in this position. And so I think that it's important to do things right all the time, and that's what I've done. I did not know anything about the report until I arrived at my office roughly 5 o'clock, August 13th. That's when I saw the report. I read the report. Yes. Right. Mr. Stermer, Jerry Stermer, came to the ethics officer and he told me that he thought there might be 3 emails that were out of bounds. We immediately suggested that this be submitted to the Office of Inspector General in January, and they would do a full report. When that would be, I had no idea when it would be concluded. I keep a total distance from that office. I met the man once as a courtesy when I first started in this job. I do not interfere in any way, shape, or form with the Office of Inspector General. Never have, never will. Expect them to do their job. And whenever they submit something to me, as they did, I received it myself on August 13th. No one else got it in my office or the General Counsel's office until that time as well. And then when we got the information, I began to look at the matter. No, if you look at the law, the law says that there's a 20-day period where the authority shall determine and review what the discipline should be before they administer the discipline. I was in the process of doing it. We were doing research on other instances of emails that were out of bounds by other offices and what the penalties were. I was dutifully doing that. I think it's important as a lawyer to take a look at precedents and other factual circumstances. It is important to keep repeating that in this instance, it wasn't a matter of somebody getting caught doing something. They themselves said, uh-oh, I may have done something wrong, and Jerry Stermer self-reported, voluntarily reported. And when he did that, he wanted, the whole process to take place by the Inspector General. We had no idea when the report would be completed. We don't inquire. We let them do their job.